Hi, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. Today, you are with me, your host, I would say, I guess. My name is Syed Hussein Avisina, or you can call me Avi or Avi for short. So, a little bit about the general idea of the program for tonight. It is going to be a bit of a talk show, I guess you could say it's a talk show. We are going to generally talk about the social blueprint on how to build brands, but not specifically any brands, but to build personal branding in sorry my throat not clear, not very clear today. But essentially we are going to talk about like how to build your personal brand. And today, Alhamdulillah, we have our guest today. She is an honorable guest. She is known as a PR, a PR,
Digital PR
digital PR
and
and
media.
media strategist. Yes, and her name is Nur Hafiza, or what should I call you? Should I
Okay,
call
you can call me Nell.
Nell? Okay, so
Yes.
Kak Nell.
Yes, yeah, sure. Kak
Okay,
Nell, you
Kak
can call me
Nell.
Kak
Okay,
Nell.
hi Kak Nell, how are you?
Hi, Avi. Thanks for having me.
So how was the journey to here to UIA, by the way?
Yeah, it was raining heavily just now, but so yeah, here I am. Alhamdulillah, right
Raining
on
heavily.
time.
Was there any issues in terms of jam or anything?
No, no, it was alright.
It was alright.
Yeah.
Okay, all good, all good. Have you eaten your dinner?
Yes, I have.
Alhamdulillah.
How about
Good.
you?
I have not eaten my dinner yet.
No
I will have my
wonder.
dinner later. uh, so let's have some small talk. Essentially, we're gonna a bit like macam we're gonna have a bit of small talk before we begin.
Yeah.
So first of all, can you tell me a bit about yourself in terms of the digital media strategies and PR? Like, what do you usually? What is it? What do you
is it?
usually do? Yeah.
Okay. So basically, I think communication students, they would know what is PR. It's public relations. So what a public relations personnel would do is their job is to manage perception,
Okay.
manage perception of the organization that they work for. So what I do is I'm a digital PR and media consultant. So I manage a company or an organization's perception, right? The public's perception toward the organization, digital, which is online,
Online.
online and offline.
So you
Yeah.
could say online is more towards the social media range.
Yes, social media, websites, communication platforms.
I see. So like for example like Twitter, Instagram.
Yes, all of it.
Okay, that
Yes.
is interesting.
Yes.
So speaking of personal branding and social media, so how does that relate specifically with your experiences in your past jobs or anything?
Social media. Come again?
How does your PR strategies with personal branding kind of like correlate with your experience?
I see, I see. So, I used to be an IIUM graduate.
Oh, okay.
I was an IIUM graduate. I'm an IIUM alumni in communication. I specialize in public relations.
Okay, surprise, surprise,
Yes.
y'all.
And then I did my master's degree in University of Malaya
Okay,
in public administration and politics.
okay. Oh, that's a
So-
very big background.
Yes. So I've worked in various different industries, in entertainment, media, corporate, and of course politics. And right now I'm dealing a lot with government,
Government.
in the
Okay.
government. And so in terms of my experience, like you said, social media and personal branding. So what happened to me was that, like I mentioned, I started working since I was studying, right? During my final years, doing my degree, and then I worked in politics for 13 years.
13 years. Oh, wow, that's
So
very long.
yes,
time.
it was very long time. So in 2018, I resigned. So at that time, I had my third baby. I decided to resign, and at that time, I had no idea what my career, like, what my future was going to be.
Yeah, because you had such a long history in terms of like being in politics
Yes.
background, but then suddenly you have to change to something entirely new and different.
Yes, entirely new and different. And it's not like a corporate company. Okay, if you work in Nestle, maybe you can go to Astro.
Yeah.
And you working for party politic, and then you're thinking
Suddenly
like,
move
okay,
on.
where should I go, right?
Yeah.
So at that time, I was thinking, okay, what do I love doing, right? Uh, I realized that I'm very good with social media, and I really like social media. Since late 90s, when I was introduced to the internet, I loved blogging.
Oh,
So
blogging. Yeah. Oh,
blogging,
I forgot
yes.
blogging was a thing back
Blogging
then.
was a thing back then, and so it started with blogging, and then of course we had Facebook, and then there's Instagram, which was more aesthetic, and then there's Twitter and TikTok right now. So in 2018, TikTok was not yet big at that time.
Yes, it wasn't that big.
So at that time, I was thinking, okay, I should venture into social media. So I took courses. So one of the first courses was I took up mentorship with Irfan Khairi.
Irfan Khairi. Yes.
So if you look up Irfan Khairi, he is the famous. I mean, during my generation lah, in the 2000s, 1990s, we knew him as the first young Malaysian who was a millionaire.
Oh, okay.
Internet millionaire.
Internet millionaire.
Internet millionaire.
Okay.
So I was thinking, okay, probably this is the guy that I should learn from, and alhamdulillah. And that's when I decided to start my own social media consulting agency.
Social media consulting.
Social
agency.
media consulting. And then along the way, it developed into digital PR.
Okay, so you mentioned from all the experience you developed into your digital PR strategies, but like I'm a bit like curious because like you had such an experience in terms of politics, like the transition towards the media of aspect of like the because you said so yourself, you were a communication student. So how was the transition in terms of building yourself up technically from the ground up, because it's not something that you had experienced before?
Yeah, so that was one of the causes I started working when I was doing my degree. In those days, when we were students, we knew that it's hard to get a job. Getting good results will not get you a job.
At that time or
at that
generally?
time?
At
At
that
that time, if you were a communication student,
Oh, yeah.
at that time,
Yes.
right? Because good grades does not guarantee at that time. Probably if you are good enough, if you are like a best student, certain corporate companies, they would aim to hire you as soon as possible. If not, then you have to work your way lah.
Yes.
So that's when one of the job I did was I worked for an event management company, and the CEO was Ali Bakar. Ali Bakar. Those people who enjoy music in the 80s and 90s, they would know Ali Bakar because he used to be the manager of the rock group Wings.
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 What's his name?
Awi.
Awi. Yes, Awi.
Yeah. So, and that time he didn't manage Wings anymore. Wings already broke up. I think disbanded.
Disbanded.
They
Like
were
the
already-
Beatles.
Like the Beatles, something like that. But he was still organising events. One of it was Festival Film Malaysia.
Festival Film Malaysia, yes.
So at that time, I gained a lot of experience working with him. And then, after graduating, still didn't get a job yet.
Oh.
But I decided to take up whatever opportunity I could, right? I managed to do an internship with QSR Brands. QSR Brands is a corporate company that manages KFC, Pizza Hut, and Ayamas.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So pretty much chicken related.
Chicken related, yes. And then yes, here and there, and then along the way, I was hired into this political organisation.
How old were you when all of this happened? Because it sounds like there's a lot of experience happening at the same time.
I started working when I was 22.
Wow, you were young.
Young, yes.
I'm 23 now and I barely have a job. Okay,
Yes.
wow. But that is inspiring because I feel like because most of the communication students, at least like some of my friends that I know, they don't even know like what am I actually gonna do when I graduate, because like they have a general idea, oh, we're gonna intern and possibly work at where we intern, but at the same time that doesn't guarantee you a possible job. So like, because I'm just highlighting a bit of contrast. You said that you had so many experiences at the time, even though you haven't graduated yet. So like, what would you say is like an essence of what you did that can be applied to our communication students that is still in UIA? Like me, for example, I'm a communication student.
Okay, I want to say that you guys are so lucky.
Why so?
Because during my time, we had trouble, like, okay, we didn't have access to people who were in the industry. Unless if you had family members who knew people, then you're lucky enough, to get hired or to meet with them, ask questions and all that.
So you would say at the time it
At
was
that
such
time.
a cable power.
Cable power thing.
Okay.
Nowadays, you can already build your own personal brand by using social media.
I
Right?
mean, that is true, yeah.
And at the same time, even if you couldn't get a part-time job outside, you could be active in societies in the university.
That is true, yes.
Right? That is one of the platforms for you to build network with outsiders. That activity can become content. And then when you do your assignment, you have opinions, you have things that you think that you want to share, or even just you learn something. You learn something, and every single day you create a 1-minute video on social media, or you do a write-up on LinkedIn. That is already building your personal brand.
Oh yeah, now that you mentioned LinkedIn specifically, because like back then you guys didn't have LinkedIn.
No, we
Back then-
didn't even use social media
Yeah,
to people. There's no such thing. The only thing was there was blogging.
Blogging. So because the whole social media, well, now social media is technically a tool for everyone to use, do you think that despite being such a huge tool and it is easily accessed by everyone, and because it can build anyone immediately, do you think that it also can be something that people will mistreat or weaponize it? Because I think that is something that could be have into conversation. Like how certain, like for example, person, let's say there's a lot of influencers nowadays, they want to do good things, but at the same time, because of the perception in social media, regardless of anything good being done, there's always this one group of people that will like bash you for doing anything they want, even if it's like something inspirational, something motivational, something, even if it's something out of passion. So how would you say something that we could like not necessarily counter, but like what is something plausible for us to do or react
How
to
to handle it.
How to handle it, yes.
Okay. So basically, this is something that any public figure, any influencer, any leader would face. Right? Basically, they are haters lah.
Haters gonna hate.
Haters gonna hate.
Yeah.
So say if you are someone who creates content, right? I know this is one of the things that hinder people from wanting to put themselves out there. They are afraid of being judged. They are afraid of haters. But let me tell you one thing. Who is the one person, the most perfect human being that Allah has created?
The Prophet itself.
Prophet is himself. Did
Sallallahu
he
alaihi
have
wasallam.
haters?
Oh yeah, so many haters.
So what more a person like us?
That is
So
true.
it's just a matter of how you deal with it, right? As a guideline, as a simple guideline, if you want to build your personal brand, if you want to put something out there, just to be safe, the moment you want to post something, look at it again and think that, does this give value to people?
So there's something value at the, if it's gonna give value to people, then it's fine.
Yes.
But if it's just another piece of content, then
Content that would humiliate you, maybe it is against the law, or maybe it is maybe it's against religion, right? Maybe you have to rethink if you are a beginner. But if you are strong enough to be controversial, then that's another case.
strong enough to be
Right?
controversial.
You are
I
strong
mean, there's a
enough.
lot of people, there's a lot of influencers that choose to be controversial as
Yes.
well. But that is something totally
But that would backfire them in the end of the
Exactly.
day. Say like if you are an influencer, you are a student. So you want to be controversial. What if one day you say you have a job in the corporate world, you climb the corporate ladder, and you have the opportunity to become the vice president
Of a certain
or
company.
head of department, right? Director.
People will dig up your past.
Yes, and it's going to be out there forever.
Exactly. Because
Why
internet
would
is
you-
forever.
Yes,
That's the
why
thing,
would you
yeah.
want to do that to yourself? So always rethink whatever you want to post. But the safest way is to think, is this going to give value? Is it going to give value? Number one. Number two, when you do something, and especially if it is effective, it is gaining traction, it means you're doing something right. You are definitely going to get people criticizing you.
Regardless of
Kan?
anything.
You're definitely going to have people giving you ideas, giving their opinions. Oh, you shouldn't have done it this way. You should have done it that way. For me,
Because-
what I say is, brother, talk is cheap.
Talk
Give
is
me
cheap.
results.
That is true.
If this person is already successful in what I'm doing, maybe I would take heed of what he's telling me. But if this person is someone who has never done anything what I'm doing, never given results, I would just, okay, thank you. But I would not take it at heart lah, whatever he's
Yeah.
criticizing me.
Because that reminds me of a quote I learned from my grandfather, which is he always say this, is that losers give reasons but winners give results.
Exactly.
And at the end of the day, we choose to be winners. We don't choose to be losers. Well,
true.
I think that is such an interesting topic. We can expand on after this, but we're going to take a short break and we'll be right back with you.
All right.
Tired of the same old designs? We're here to give you more outfit choices that stands out while reflecting your university and campus spirit. With our focus on comfort, quality and sustainability, you always look and feel your best. Savo, where your university pride meets unique style.
Hi, Assalamualaikum and welcome back. I'm so sorry. This is like a bit draggy.
It's okay. Take your time.
But what do you think is like something that because students nowadays, okay, some students, at least some of my friends that I know, for example, a few of them already graduated. Before they graduated, they became famous on social media, TikTok, not YouTube, but TikTok and Instagram, and they were viral because of the stuff that they did. For example, there's one guy, he starts speaking English in an English accent. There's one other person does gym content. This other person does like talking about studies and whatnot. But how do you think? Is there like a way for them to balance themselves out? Because sometimes, like maybe it's a bad comparison, but like like how certain people cannot really juggle their personal life and their social media life.
Yeah, I understand.
Hmm.
Okay. Actually, not only students, even professionals, entrepreneurs, they have trouble in this. In terms of managing their personal brand, they can't really identify what they should share and what they should not share about. So what I teach them is, when you must see yourself as a business. You must see yourself as a business. That is what Hairul Amin does.
Yes, that is true.
How did he manage to sell a few hundred bottles of his sambal nyet within a few minutes?
That is true.
It's
yeah.
not something that happens overnight. It's something that he has carefully planned and thought about over the years, building his brand. And he has a very positive image.
That is true.
No controversies, right?
Yes.
So, why? Because he has this mindset of treating he himself as a business. So we need to have this kind of mentality. Okay? So, when you want to build your personal brand, you need to be clear, or at least have a picture of what do you want to achieve when building your brand. A lot of people, they just build their personal brand just for the sake of being famous, just for the sake of getting views and hundreds and thousands or millions of followers, right? But actually, if you are already clear about why am I building my personal brand and how do I want to monetize from my personal brand, it could be from your business or monetize from your career.
So, because like for example, because Khairul, let's use Khairul as an example, because
Yes.
I think he made himself pretty clear that he used to be an engineer,
Yes.
but however somehow he's a influencer. He is his own brand. You know, everyone when you see Khairul, you know, like, hi, what's up, guys? He does the food thing and everything.
Yes.
But that's something. So could you say that because cooking is something that he's passionate about? Could you say that because of something that we are passionate about, we can align it with something professional, regardless of it doesn't necessarily exist in a professional field?
Yes. And you can say that. And Khairul Aming, he built his personal brand just not want to it's not like he wants to be famous per se. He wants to build a business where he can help a lot of people.
That is true.
And he comes from Kelantan,
Yeah.
right? Kelantan, my husband is from Kelantan. So there are a lot of people who are because it is a country that is still building up, right? So a
Yes.
lot of people, they are struggling financially, and he knows that he wants to help youngsters
Yes, that
in
is true.
Kelantan and help people in Kelantan. So the way he built his brand he was very smart. He showed cooking content,
Yes.
right? He was making videos cooking. Started from there. Then he created a product that was related to his
State.
niche.
Niche. Oh yes, niche. Yeah.
His niche, which was cooking,
Yes.
right? And another thing that made people feel close to him was because he liked to tell stories.
Yeah, whenever he starts cooking, I say, so
Yes.
do you guys know he did this
Yes.
and that and this and that? Yeah.
Yeah, he likes to tell stories. First is because of his personality. If you
Yes.
see his bio, he says a bujang who likes to cook but talks like a makcik.
Yes.
Right? The way he communicates is very entertaining. The way his video was very high quality video, a very branded video. And then he likes to tell along the way he likes to tell about his journey, right?
Yeah.
And recently, if I'm not mistaken, he did a video, a content that reflected his 10 years journey
Oh yeah.
from
I
the
think
moment
did,
he
yes.
created his personal brand to today.
Yes.
Or was it before he created his personal, because before he created his personal brand, he used to have a Facebook page, Rasa Pop.
Rasa Pop.
Yes.
Oh wow, I've never heard about this one.
Yes, he has a Facebook page that shares about cooking. It was called Rasa Pop, and he realized after so many years, there was one time Rasa Pop could not grow. That's how social media works. In the beginning, it's very algorithm friendly. You know, they will be very generous, giving you views and followers. But until up to a certain level, it will be stagnant. It's difficult for you to grow.
But that's Facebook.
That's Facebook. And then that's when he started. You know, if you saw his first video, he was really nervous.
Yeah.
He made mistakes.
Yes.
Look at him now. That's why I always tell people, you know, you don't have to be ashamed with all your weaknesses. A master was once a disaster.
Oh.
So it's
master.
okay to be a disaster.
And slowly you will learn from your mistakes.
Yes.
I think because that in of itself, it makes Khairul Aming somewhat very unique. Because let's say like, I don't think I can name another influencer at least that does the same thing that he does. He's very
No.
entertaining. He cooks. He helps people with the whole.
And he's visionary.
He's visionary, yes. And now he's promoting a lot of like with the whole traveling thing that he did with Switzerland. And I think I heard, if I'm not mistaken, he's going to like either Oman or Qatar. I don't remember.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, for another like traveling cooking.
Yeah, I'm not
something.
surprised if he becomes a UN
Ambassador.
food ambassador. It's not impossible, you know.
Yeah. To this point, I wouldn't be surprised. But speaking of, because at the same time, that also resonates because I think as of 2024, we can see effective immediately after PKP or like MCO, we can see there's a rise in there's so many social media influencers immediately. There's so many from either like for the sake of fashion or maybe entertainment or comedy or maybe in terms of filmmaking as well. You can
Yes.
see, I think
Yes.
you are aware as
Music.
well. Music as well. There's so many
Various
new
industries.
various industries. So it shows that people can really build themselves up regardless of any obstacles in a way.
Yes.
But at the same time, it also they have to be unique as well.
Yes. And they have to be brave. Like as for me, when after I resigned 2018, I was like, okay, what am I supposed to do? You know, I was already like in my late 30s. And I was thinking, you know, people would not want to hire me and all that. But I decided to keep on building myself. I decided to keep on stacking new skills, especially with social media. It's something that is highly demanded field right today. And like I said, I'm quite introverted. I'm really shy talking in front of the camera.
Talking in front of camera.
So I went to when I had this class with Irfan Hairi. He taught us how to speak in front of the camera. That was the first time I had to do that video. And I decided, you know, let me try and do this every day. And along the way, I was confident enough. I created content, but still I was thinking, oh no, my office mates, my ex-office mates, my old friends are going to judge me because I worked with a lot of public figures. They were, these people are politicians, CEOs, top level, and I was thinking, oh no, these people are going to judge me. But surprisingly, they didn't judge me. In fact, they were supportive enough to call me, hey, Nell, when are you free? I want to call you to coach my staff, to train my staff. So sometimes we overthink.
I think
So
all
you-
the time we overthink.
Yeah,
at this
we
point, yeah.
Yes, we always overthink. So the key is you just need to step up your game and just start. Just start and keep on developing yourself. Improve your skills.
Following that, I think because you see nowadays improving skills, I think anyone can learn anything because
Yes.
everything is on the internet.
Exactly.
Everything is literally on the internet, and we can learn a skill, we can learn a new language, we can learn
Yes, marketing
how to draw,
skills,
everything.
sales,
Yes, we
everything.
can from either
You can
to-
even make a bomb from learning from YouTube. Don't be a terrorist.
I mean, don't be a terrorist. Unsurprisingly, you can learn literally anything on
Yes.
YouTube, which is why I find it like, because here's the thing. Sometimes because okay, let's say a person gets famous because there's so many people who are famous today, but at the same time, and you say as well, there comes to a certain point where that particular thing that we do becomes stagnant. So how would you say in an age where social media is constantly changing and evolving and algorithms and whatnot with the limitations where, like, let's say for example, like America is now banning TikTok, for example, and it's been confirmed that next year they're going to ban TikTok. So maybe it's a bit distant, but like how would you say, because they're losing one big piece of social media that have changed so many lives, so how would you say that is a way that they could not necessarily rebuild, but what can they salvage and what they can make from what is going to happen?
Oh, okay. So say if you are a brand, right? You are a brand. Brands nowadays is a brand that can last for a long time is a brand that build communities. It's not like a touch and go thing and then that's it. That's why if you notice celebrities, they have names for their fans. Taylor Swift,
Swifties.
Swifties. Beyonce,
I don't know.
Beehive.
Oh, really?
Beehive.
Sorry, I don't listen to
Yes.
Beyonce.
Siti Nurhaliza, City Zoners.
Oh,
They have names. Why?
I know more towards K-pop, but yes.
So how about K-pop?
Twice the
Big
fan,
Bang?
once
No?
Big Bang. Big Bang, I'm not sure, but yeah, they always have something. For example, ITZY, it's MITZY. So random. Yes. Okay. Okay.
So it's about building a community. It's not one time thing. Even Vivi, when she had Duck, right?
Oh, Vivi Yusof.
Vivi Yusof. They call themselves Duckies. Seriously.
Okay.
It's a community. So, So when you have a community, you need to keep in touch with your if you're a celebrity or influencer, you have your followers. Brands, your consumers, your pelanggan, your customers.
Yeah, customers, yes.
You need to keep in touch with them. That's why you have emails, if you notice. You buy things and they have your email, right?
Yes.
So, an email is a forever thing. A social media platform is not forever. They can shut it down.
Anytime.
The government's policy is going to change. The algorithm is going to change. The trend is going to change. It's just a tool, just a channel.
Yeah.
Every social media platform is a channel. But the thing that a company can own, a brand can own, is their website
Oh, that is true. Yeah.
and emails.
Emails. Because regardless of people saying that they don't open emails, at the end of the day, you use emails for a lot of things.
Yes.
Your
Income
applications,
tax.
yes, exactly. There's
The,
so many.
government
related
dealings
things.
and all that, you still need your emails nowadays.
Hmm.
So that's the game of digital marketing game.
Digital marketing.
Yes. So, like currently, the right now I'm one of my clients is the Melaka government.
Okay.
The Chief Minister of Melaka, the media, and also the government I'm helping in terms of. He asked the IT department to create a Telegram group.
Okay.
Telegram group. And also when they have programs, they always organize lucky draws.
Lucky draws, okay.
In order to be a part of a lucky draw, they have to give their emails.
So
That-
it is one way for them to engage.
Yes, it's one of the ways for the government to keep in touch with the people.
Yes. Because if you ask for WhatsApp number, that's unreasonable. You
Yes,
can
and
ask-
people
yeah.
change their numbers.
Exactly. But
not
emails.
emails.
Yeah, exactly.
And also, as for now, a Telegram group is stable because it's not American.
Yeah, it is.
It's Russian.
Yeah.
So it's not easily hacked, unlike WhatsApp. But I don't know if it's a different case. But yeah, what I'm saying is that whether you are an organization, an NGO, a corporate company, you are a government, you must have one way of staying in touch with your audience.
One way to say.
Do not rely on social media platforms because
At the end
it
of the
can be
day,
hacked, right? It can be deactivated, like Meta what always do.
yeah.
Suddenly they deactivate your Facebook page and you can never get it for no reason. That's what happens.
Well, I think because that is such an interesting thing because like nowadays I think because there's so many people getting unfiltered access to knowledge and information. For example, let's say the issue with the Luigi Mangione in New York.
Yeah.
Because people are constantly digging up information. I think to a certain extent it scares a certain group of people where social media can be too powerful to a certain extent where it can possibly topple governments
Especially with AI.
especially with AI. And nowadays AI technology is becoming quite scary, which is surprising that no one is not being scared about it. You know how it can mimic videos. They can make hyper realistic pictures. They can nowadays even they can like make songs from AI voices.
Yes, it's disrupting the creative industry.
Exactly. Which not only disrupting, I feel like it's in a way it can lead towards something that should not happen. For example, maybe fitna or anything, because like if AI can mimic your voice to a certain extent,
You don't know
can-
what's real anymore.
Exactly. You can't really tell if that's your family member over phone or something, At the same time, because it's AI and everything, I feel like how would AI and like personal branding, because like now AI can do anything. So what makes us different then? Because because it can do anything, then what's the point of even hiring workers anymore, I feel like that's something now, at least my generation, I'm not sure about your generation, my generation, most people are like a bit scared and worried, like how are we going to get jobs? Because if, for example, let's say computer science, you don't have to hire engineers anymore because we can just ChatGPT it. You want to do maybe some scripting, ChatGPT can do like copywriting for you. which is why I feel like talking about personal branding that can, especially as a comm student, we communication students, we need to be something distinct, because at the end of the day, I think at least communication students in UIA, we are, despite being somewhat, it's just HS students, but at the end of the day, HS students are something yang pops out regardless of anything amongst other kuliahs as well. And I think with that as well, how would you say that, because again with the age of AI and personal branding, and it's a bit of a clashing, how would you say, you know, certain people have this imposter syndrome when it comes to personal branding. You know, it's not necessarily personal branding, but like imposter syndrome towards like what they've created. You know, their social media personality. You know, maybe they are being themselves, but to what extent are they being themselves? And they cannot, you know, differentiate between what is them and what is not them as well. You know, like I would say something of a bit of a Spider-Man situation where he becomes Spider-Man at night, but at the end of the day he's just Peter Parker, you know. So like, how would you say, how would a person overcome imposter syndrome in terms of presenting themselves to an expert, let's say?
Okay. This feeling of imposter syndrome, surprisingly, is not only faced by a newbie, but also by people who are already experts themselves, who has been doing something for like 20, 30 years. I know these people. They are, you know, we know that they are really good, but still they have this feeling. Imposter syndrome will not go away. But I think we need to have the right mindset. First things first, when you do something, never expect to be perfect. It has to be progress over perfection.
Yes, because I actually heard this quote the other day. Done is better than perfect.
Yes.
Because at the end of the day, if you're not moving or initiating something, you can't really do anything.
Yes,
Nothing
you're going to be stuck like that forever.
Yeah, because that's something that I struggle, at least as a person who, you know, I'm trying to indulge more in filmmaking as well. And I keep on having these thoughts where I want to do it perfect, but at the same time, in my other side of my brain is that, no, you cannot do it perfect, because if you want it to be perfect, then you can never get anything done.
Yes.
That is something I feel like
You have to make do with what you have. You start first. You start first, and then look at it, whatever that you have created, do it again, but do it better than the last time. So, one of the biggest mistakes that we do is we always compare ourselves with someone. It is unfair for us to compare our first day with another person's 1,354 days in doing something. Right? If this is your first day in filmmaking, it's unfair for you to compare with someone who's already had 100,000 days.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that is
Of
true.
doing filmmaking. It's not fair. So, that is a mistake.
That's why the mistake.
The right way is to compare our second day with our first day.
Yes. So it's essentially we're chasing our own shadow instead of chasing someone else's shadow.
Yes. Just focus on, okay, I am going to do better. What you look at, say you've done a film, right? Okay, I did this mistake, that mistake. Okay, next time I'm going to do better. And maybe you're going to watch another person's a top movie. Okay, how did this person do? Steven Spielberg, or he did this scene like this. Okay, I'm going to do something like this. Learn from the greats.
Learn from the greats.
Learn from the greats. So that's why if you have this kind of mindset, you will not have imposter syndrome. Because imposter syndrome is the idea that you must be perfect. You do not want to be criticized.
But
You
being
think-
criticized is normal.
Yes,
especially
you
in
and
age.
you always think about those people who are going to criticize, when actually you should think about those people who are going to appreciate what you're doing.
And celebrate what we're doing.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, one of the things that I do is I coach people in terms of building their personal brand. Besides, in terms of creating content, it's also having to work on their mindset. So, I always tell them When don't imagine when you want to say you want to start to create a video speaking in front of the camera, don't think about what this person is going to say, that person is going to say. But what if one day you created a content that was really good, suddenly somebody DM you and said that, hey Avi, look, I want to thank you for creating this video. You spoke about this. It saved my life. Actually that night I was going to commit suicide. How would you feel?
That is something very heavy as well.
Yes. That's why. Because you'll never know. Because I get that. I mean, I haven't had someone telling me that it saved their life in terms of like they're going to kill themselves. But I have people saying that, thank you for sharing this. It changed my life. Right now I'm doing this. Oh wow. I'm so happy that they are inspired. This is what I want to. This is why I do what I do. I create content. I want to give value to people. I want people to learn because I'm learning. I don't see myself as an expert. I see as someone, as a student who is learning, and I want to share with others. If you see yourself that way, you will not have imposter syndrome because you're not claiming yourself being a true expert who knows everything.
You're just saying that you have something that you know and you just want to share it with the rest of the class.
You want to, share with others.
I see.
So you will not have that fear of, oh, I'm not good enough. No. Hey, I'm learning, man. Just want to share it with you. Just want to share it with the world.
Yeah, that is true.
So that is one of the ways one of the mindset that you can have to overcome imposter syndrome.
Okay. Well, I think on that note, we're going to take a short break and then we will get back in a bit.
Tired of the same old designs? We're here to give you more outfit choices that stands out while reflecting your university and campus spirit. With our focus on comfort, quality and sustainability, you always look and feel your best. Savo, where your university pride meets unique style.
Hi, Assalamualaikum and welcome back with V and Kak Nel. Okay.
Hi.
Hello. Ohayo gozaimasu. Okay, cannot go to nonsense. Okay. So so sorry, so random. So we have reached our final segment. So we're gonna like maybe end it with like something that probably can resonate or relate with most of the listeners there, or maybe even myself as well. So talking about personal branding with like, like as you said earlier, you cannot become a master unless you've been through disaster or something like that. Yes.
A master was once a disaster.
A master was once a disaster, yes. So I because a master was once a disaster and correlating that with, personal branding and whatnot, I feel like, let's say a person were to evolve and like, let's say their like maybe let's just use Karo Ming as an example because I think that's common ground for both of us.
Okay.
Something that we can share as the two different generations.
Okay. Okay. The older person and the younger person.
The older person, the younger person. Not too old, not too young lah. Can. We give discount.
Okay.
So, how would you say is a way like for us, to evolve our brand, our personal branding as our career grows as well?
How to evolve our personal brand as our career grows.
Yes.
Okay. Now, the first thing first is you need to have an idea. Who do you want to be, say in 5 years time, right? Because when you know who you want to be, you will know what skills do you need to develop, which organizations which organization or which crowd you should associate with, and which events you should attend. Why do I say which events? Because in order for you to get into an industry, you have a better opportunity if you were to start doing networking from now.
Yeah, that is true. That's the whole point of joining societies in university, right?
Exactly. And there's a saying that goes where it says that the 5% that you spend your time most with will influence who you will become in future.
Oh. It's like, oh, it's almost like the same with like if you spend time with a salesperson who sells perfumes, then you
Yes,
get
hadith.
the perfume. Hadith, yes.
That's a hadith.
It's a hadith.
And it makes sense.
Hmm.
So, like for me,
Mm-hmm.
when I think about how did I come this far, right? To have these skills, the knowledge, the confidence, is because of those people that I used to mix with when I was in politics. When I was in politics, I used to mix with elder people.
Yeah, old people. Yeah.
Old people. I mean, compared to my age, I was
Yeah.
in my 20s, and most of those people, I used to mix with the bosses. So they were in like their 50s, 60s.
5 series, 6 series.
60s. And I think it's my inclination to mix with elder people who are older than me, because I grew up with my granduncle, and I had my uncles who are also much older than me,
Oh, that is,
and I learned a lot from them. That's why I'm more comfortable mixing with people who are much older than me, because I always see them as someone that I can learn from.
Yeah.
Everyone, even a makcik cleaner in my office. There was this makcik who we lovingly call her Mak Mek.
Mm-hmm.
And she was a tea lady. And she's not a cleaner, she was a tea lady. And I always see her as someone that I could learn something. Yeah. And I always have a chit chat with her. And she shared a lot of stories about Tun Mahathir, because she was already there.
Yeah.
Since
at the
Tun
time.
Mahathir was there. So you must have this kind of mentality of always wanting to learn. That's how you evolve.
To learn is to evolve. To evolve
You
is
have,
to learn.
yes, you must have this hunger. I want to learn. I want to keep on developing my skills. And that is how you evolve.
Well, I mean, I've always noticed. I mean, like, it's probably a sign at this point, because I've always had this algorithm on my TikTok where every now and then I will see people just say, the way for you to grow yourself is to read.
Exactly.
And if you don't want to read, spend time with people who are professionals at their field.
Exactly. Because they will talk about the things that they deal with.
Yeah.
And there's always something that we could learn from the
That's true.
conversation.
Yeah, because some parts of what we are bound to do, at least as for communication studies specifically, is that it is related with human psychology, with human behavior, sociology as well.
Yes.
There's always something interconnected between. So that's why when you read, you learn at least factually, but when you talk to people, you learn something based off their experience.
And even if like nowadays, if say, and a lot of people say that I don't have time, actually they're malas lah, they're too lazy to read. They say I don't have time. Okay, fine. Just put on a podcast, listen to podcast on your way going to class. Definitely there's something to learn from that session.
Yeah, if you can spend 8
Or
hours a day to
or
play
a
your phone.
Audiobook.
Yeah,
Or
audiobook.
listen to an
Yes.
audiobook.
At that point, you can read a book if you can spend 8 hours a day.
Yes.
Because my grandfather, he always reminds me, at least, he said, first thing in the morning you wake up. If you wake up at 6 or 5 or 6, first thing in the morning, if you cannot read the book, read 10 pages. If you cannot read 10 pages, read 1 page.
Yes.
If you cannot read 1 page, read news.
Yes.
Because you fill up your brain with new information every day.
Yes. You're feeding your brain.
Yes. And the brain starves for hunger. It's hungry for knowledge. If it's not hungry for knowledge, it's hungry for something new and different.
Yes.
And with evolving the brand, because you said you have to be hungry for learning something new. I think in of itself, does that mean that we have to like constantly what was the word, if not evolve, and like how does evolving and staying true to ourselves correlate with each other? How could that correlate with each other? Because sometimes people think, oh, I have to change, I have to do this, I have to do that in order for me to reach this, but they feel like they could lose this part of themselves, that this part of themselves was the one that actually brought them to this point.
Yes. Understand?
So how do you think a person could relate, like in terms of evolving but maintaining true identity?
Okay, maintaining to identity. That's why, first things first, you must be clear about who you are and the values that you hold on to. As for me, of course, I as an alumni of IIUM, I have this. I think the university has inculcated within me the Tauhidic mindset, which is the idea that whatever that we are doing right now is related to our life in the afterlife.
Ah,
Right?
okay.
Whatever that I'm doing, it will affect me in my afterlife.
Yeah.
So, for example, I was working for a political organization. When you talk about politics, definitely there are people who are going to bash you, and they have a bad perception towards politics and politicians. But I was always true to myself because I'm not a politician, number
Yeah.
one. Number two is because I had this clear conscience of working in an organization, right, as a platform to what
Elevate, traject.
no to help Muslims, right? For example, the political party defends the Islam, the religion itself,
Yes.
right? The capability of Muslims to lead their lives in this country as Muslims, being able to go to mosques, to get access to halal food and all that.
Yeah.
So this is aligned to my values,
Yeah.
the Tauhidic mindset. This is my pahala.
Yes.
So I always stick to that. Say if I did not have a clear conscience about these values that I hold on to, I would be, what do you say? In Malay they say goyang, you know. You have self-doubt. Am I
Yeah.
doing the right thing? Oh no, I think they are right. Politics is bad. But since I have a strong principle, I just couldn't be bothered with whatever people say. The hadith says innamal a'malu binniyat.
Yes. Everything that we
Right.
do at the beginning
Niat.
is a niyat. Yes.
So when you have you have clear conscience of who you are, the values that you hold on to, you will not have this problem. So that's why people, they have problem when they do things against their values.
Yeah.
That's why.
Because thinking about that, I feel like, because building yourself up is also, it takes a lot of time. Because Rome wasn't built in one day, obviously, and your personal brand is not gonna be built in one day. It's gonna take a lot of time,
Yes.
a lot of effort, a lot of change, probably lots of crying and laughing and learning from lots of people as well. I feel like that is such an interesting journey that anyone, literally, it's, for me, it's mind-blowingly fascinating because everyone is going through something that is bizarrely different without us knowing. And it's also sad, the fact that because people are going through different things, there are always going to be people that criticizes us. But at the same time, we always lose sight that there are always going to be people that we care and love that
Yes.
will always support us as well.
Yes. And
Our
they
family.
appreciate what we're doing.
Exactly. There are people. There was always, as much as there are haters, there will also be people who will love and cherish what we do.
Yes.
And I think, correlating with, because at least something that can resonate me as a communication student, because I feel like, because you said so yourself, you at a very young age you experienced going through the entertainment industry, political industry. There's so many things that you've experienced at a very young age,
Yes.
before even graduating, that I feel like a lot of, at least communication students, because we're something that we can relate to, is that communication students, at the end of the day, without them realizing, they are, you could say, a jack of all trades. They know a lot of everything, even though they're not specifically mastered at something. But because they are mastered at everything, they know everything, that in of itself makes them unique, and they can traject themselves forward with their own personality and their own
And
personality
they
as
also
well.
have options to become, in the end of the day, if they want to be a master in something, they have a lot of options.
Exactly. There's so many things, and I think with the age of social media, with the age of, there's so, people social media it's gonna stay. Internet is gonna stay, even though
Yes.
there's policies or anything. Maybe different countries different policies, but internet.
Gonna be a lot of different platforms.
Yes, I mean, threads tried to do something. It might work, it might not work. I'm not sure. And then now there's the Blue Sky. Blue Sky launched, I think, last year when Elon Musk took over. Blue Sky essentially is the previous CEO of Twitter made an entirely new app. It's called Blue Sky with everything. Pretty much, it's just old Twitter. But again, there's so many social media, and people know. Oh, regardless of anything, people are just gonna go back to Twitter. They're gonna not Twitter, sorry, X. People call it X. Yes, but I'm not gonna call it X. It's Instagram, Facebook, probably if you're above 30.
Yes.
And TikTok.
For
At the end of the day,
1%.
TikTok. Yeah. At the end of the day, people are always gonna go back to TikTok because TikTok is probably something that connects almost all ages. And I think, essentially, if you think about it, personal branding is about the authenticity of a person. It is the storytelling of a person. It's them storytelling about their lives through who they are as a person. I feel that's
Yes, you can look at it that way.
Mm-hmm.
Another way is, say if you are building your brand as a business, the storytelling is to make people connect with you and make yourself relatable to others. But in the end of the day, you have to think about what do you have to offer people. It's not about you.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people, when they say, oh, personal branding, it's about them. No, it's not about you. It's about what you can give to others, what value you can create
add?
for others.
Yes.
That's the most important thing. That's how a personal brand can survive for many years. Like what Hairul Aming is doing. He's always giving value.
Yes, he's
Right.
always doing something back
Doing
that-
something, giving back to society. So you have to have, that's why I said, when you build a personal brand, you need to have a vision. It's not about being famous per se. You have to think about, if I already have these followers, how can I give value to these people? Like Alif Satar. Alif Satar, is it?
Yeah, Alif Satar, yeah.
He said that, what's the use? I have a lot of followers, million is it?
Millions.
But I can't influence people to do good. What's the point?
Yeah. That's why he does what do you call, the subuh macam Jumaat or something.
Yes.
And the whole running and
Yes,
it's,
exactly.
adding value back, giving back to the community.
And when I look back at this concept of personal branding, right, actually it has some relation to this Islamic concept of Khalifah, vicegerency. Every one of us is actually a Khalifah who has a mission. Everybody, when you say about, okay, if you want to build your personal brand, how to evolve and all that, right? I think a person has to rethink about whatever they have to reflect about their life. Some people, they feel like sad about their past, like their parents divorce. They feel like they are lesser than anybody else, when actually all of those experiences, whether it's good or bad, actually it helps to mold you into something, right? And you have to reflect about with whatever that I know right now, with whatever skills that I have right now, actually what is my role in this world?
Yeah.
Because all of us are actually in an ecosystem, and every single one of us has a role to play.
That's true.
So there must be a reason. Why did God put you here? You must think, why did God put me as a communication student? Why not architecture? Right?
Yeah, because I used to be an architecture.
Right.
So, yeah.
Why not architecture? Why did not He maintain me in the architectural line? Why did He put me in communication? Like for me, I was in politics. It was a coincidence, actually. It's not like something I want to work in politics. No, it's a coincidence. After I graduated, I had a few offers. And I felt that, wow, this is something that I've never done before, because I was already in corporate media and entertainment.
Yeah.
So I wanted to gain experience. But I think the I was thinking like, okay, I'm going to be here in 5 years, only for 5 years. After I finish my master's degree, I'm going to leave. But turns out that I was given a bigger role and I enjoyed and I grew over the years. And I was thinking, hey, God must have put me here for a reason.
Yeah.
I never regret for being in a place. You know, some people maybe they regret their career kan. I've never regretted that. I always believe that, wow, I've learned a lot of things. I've grown. There must be a reason God put me here. So always think think of yourself that way. Never regret. Never feel like, why am I not getting a corporate job after 3 years after graduating? No. Always think of, what have I learned in the past 3 years? How can I grow from here? What can I do? So you have to have that positive mindset.
Positive mindset, yes. Positive mindset. Positive
Yes.
mindset. You know, I think you pretty much wrapped it quite beautifully as well. Positive mindset as well.
Yes.
And you know, with that, I think marks the end of our session. Again, I would like to a bit of a reflect of what you've told me so far. You know, about personal branding, experiencing, and building your career journeys. And essentially, I feel like you could see, despite having this obstacle, not necessarily obstacle, but a challenge of building your personal brand, you could see that the dreams that we have are achievable. At the end of the day, we can choose to have our dreams to happen. We can choose our dreams to happen regardless of anything and regardless of our past or maybe our troubles and whatnot. And with the whole social media thing, and at the same time, I feel like having all this experience and skills, at the end of the day, we just have to be true to ourselves. We have to be brave and don't be afraid to make mistakes.
Exactly.
Yes. And with that, I would like to end this session. Thank you so much, Kak Neil.
Most welcome, Avi.
Thank you so much. I hope I will have dinner later, don't worry. And hope you have a good time again. Thank you very much
Yes.
again. Thank you so much for
And
being our guest for today.
Most welcome. I hope all of the listeners today they had good takeaways from this session.
Probably, inshallah. I mean, inshallah.
And inshallah, who knows? We'll see again. We'll meet again.
We'll meet again, maybe. You never
Yes.
know. And with that, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh.